Hi, I'm Alex from ANU Observer and I use any pronouns.
Hi, I'm also Alex. I'm from Waroni and I use they/them pronouns. Before we begin today's debate, we'd like to acknowledge that we're hosting it on unceded Ngunnawal and Ngambri lands. Sovereignty was never ceded. I'd also like to acknowledge that Waroni is a term stolen from the language of the Wadi Wadi people and that we're striving to do better for future reconciliation.
ANUSA is the Australian National University Student Association for undergraduate students and is a $2 million organisation responsible for providing services for students. The Treasurer is the one who oversees all financial matters in the organisation.
So today's debate, we're only going to be able to have Katrina Ha, who's coming from Power in Community. We reached out to the other Treasurer candidate, Voices for ANUSA, however they won't be attending today. Katrina, welcome to our debate. Would you like to give your opening remarks? You have a minute and a half.
So my name is Katrina Ha. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm running for the Treasurer for ANUSA 2023 with our wonderful, independent, experienced activistic at Power in Community. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people as the traditional custodians of this land. I pay my respect to elders past and present and come in standing with our First Nations people. This land was stolen, sovereignty was never ceded. So as a ANUSA General Representative and ISD Treasurer, I could learn how finances are mobilized and managed to support students' lives in their university time. So I prepare 5 policies for staff and advocacy for both postgrad and undergrad, and night cafe of sustainable night cafe, accessibility to finance that students can access well to ANUSA finances and budget, and finally enhancing ethical sponsorship committee policy. Yep, that's it.
Fantastic. So the first question today is, as of SRC4, ANUSA is projecting a budget deficit of around about $100,000, $90,000 of which comes from student assistance grants, which cannot last forever. So what expenditure would you cut to make ANUSA financially sustainable in the future?
Can I start? Yeah. First of all, I want to correct a little bit of outdated information and misleading question. Okay, first of all, current OGM2 and then yesterday, Financial Review Committee internal report was released by SRC, today SRC's agenda. So current budget deficit is 400K, not 100K, it's projected. Why I admitted this is because this question is misleading in my opinion, because even though we have a much budget deficit, this is not the problem of expenditure itself. Because even though we increase expenditure for assistant grants and BKSS is the most increased budget this year, but this is really for students' welfare in my opinion. So this is using our student money staff to students' welfare, but why do we have to cut our expenditure rather than increasing revenue? So that was the thing I wanted to focus on because in 2015, we pay 143 of staff for each student, but we got $1.6 million for staff allocation for ANUSA. But currently we have 1.7 million, which is we are paying 157, but we can't get that much money. However, ANU is having resolve for staff, but this is really weird for us to get cut expenditure. So this is really important to get secure staff funding rather than cut our expenditure for our student money.
Thank you.
Perfect. Leading on from that, each year ANUSA struggles to achieve the amount of staff it desires, whilst the threat of not receiving enough staff hangs over it. Will you push for more funding, and what steps will you take to secure funding into the future?
Can I start? Yeah. Okay, first of all, it's staff allocation for ANUSA is quite decreased from 2019 and 2020 because of course we all know that because of COVID-19, student enrollment was really decreased, right? That's the thing, we got less allocation for staff. Also, I didn't say this for first question, but ANU is having 12% of reserve for staff funding currently from this year, which is really a lot of funding for reserve, it's 12%, right? And then we can't plan for that, even though we can get that resolve at the end of the year. We can't know that for whether we're gonna get that, or we are guaranteed that we can get that money. So we think that we can plan for that, having that resolve, but we can't do that, right? So I think 12% of resolve is really, really high. So that was one point I can push ANU about that. And second point is of course, pass us the funding. We are in OGM3, upcoming OGM3, we are having the motion that combining membership to postgrad and then like undergrad to all ANUSA membership, right? Then we have to advocate postgrad as well. That means PASA funding of like SAF should become to ANUSA funding. That's one point I wanted to stress about it. Also, the last thing is about student enrollment, because COVID-19 is almost end of the situation. And the ANU is expecting the more student enrollments from this year. Even like we can literally see that from this semester as like the borders are all opened. Yeah.
Fantastic. So the next question is, with PASA no longer receiving funding, there is an unallocated $2 million in the SAF pool. So you already touched on this, but are you anticipating ANUSA receiving PASA's budget? And just how many of your policies do you feel rely on this extra funding?
Okay, great. So first of all, like as I said, like we're gonna discuss the motion of combining membership to with postgrad and undergrad together, which is ANUSA is now officially advocating postgraduate. As an ISD treasurer, I really struggled about this because even though we are doing like undergrad advocacy, like we can't ban like postgrad international student come to ISD event, right? Like, oh, are you postgrad or are you undergrad? Like from the event of like in the like door of like event. Like so we are already like advocating international student, not only undergrad but like postgrad. But now officially, if they are becoming like ANUSA member, then we can get that budget for sure. So like that policy. So that's the reason why I emphasize in my policy about like advocacy and then increasing shared funding pool for departments, also rollover budget about that. Rollover budget is not relevant for this, but like shared funding pool should be increased from like nowhere, right? That nowhere can be PASA funding in my opinion. Because for example, like 60% of postgraduate students are international, right? Then that means like we have to get that funding to advocate them. So that's the reason why we have to get PASA funding. Yep.
Excellent. Our final question is that you're running on maintaining the night cafe, and your opponents claim the cafe should be about affordability and not profitability. How do you respond to this?
So first of all, ANUSA, like student-operated business should be affordable for international. Students. Like so, this is not only for like profitability, because profitability is like really long-term goal for ANUSA. But currently, I think the most important thing is affordability, because if you want to eat proper food in Cambridge currently, the minimum price is usually $17, which is a lot of money for students who are like living on campus, even like off campus. Like they have to, especially for off campus, they have to eat lunch here because they are like attending like tutorial lectures. But like $70 are really harsh to spend every day, right? So like that's the reason why I like emphasize like affordability rather than profitability. But still, like it's like the business operated by ANUSA, right? And then like it's student money, like student operated like business. So as I said, like ANUSA is excessively relying on SAF. So in the long-term goal, I think it's important to even secure profitability with affordability is based on already. And then like even though it can be like the long-term goal, like profitability should be there. But yeah, affordability is current goal for me. But like making an infrastructure for profitability for the future plan is what I wanted to implement.